Cheryl, it is the day after Father's Day. And I'm reminded of the fact that God, our Father, has shown a tremendous interest and identification with the alien, the stranger, the dispossessed, the widow, the orphan. In short, the vulnerable mean a lot to God. And in our country, no grouping seems as vulnerable as our original people, our indigenous brothers and sisters. Whether it's the Madhya fire that highlights and brings to the fore in frightening circumstances the treatment of our indigenous people in the dorms and the arrangements made for children in those settings. The investigations done, recommendations made, not complied with, not adhered to. And then we cry as a nation, we hold our heads seemingly in grief when 20 children die. But you could call that an accident, if you will. You could call it an act of nature. But this is a human catastrophe. This is something caused by somebody who, instead of seeing leadership as a privilege, with an opportunity to serve, would see it as an opportunity to destroy, to use, to mobilize support. Because as I read in the press, the way in which his approach was facilitated, was arranged through beauty pageants or whatever else, tells me that this is not an act of passion. This is not somebody out of control because for some reason they were perhaps using some substance that they could say, oh, I couldn't help myself for the time. This is somebody with a track record of this kind of evil. And don't let's call it anything else. It is wicked. It is evil. And it's not just a case of rape compounded with sodomy. It's the continuous abuse, as if he could sin with immunity and impunity, as if he and those he serves have suddenly become God in the earth. God is not amused. Right-thinking Guyanese are not fooled. I believe that our president has a conscience. I believe that coming from a religion, as with Christianity and Judaism, Muhammad, the religion of Islam, has a very sound moral code. I'm looking to the president not just to dismiss this rascal, not just to accede his request to go on leave as if he's doing a gentlemanly thing, but to show in every way possible that he will not allow our children to be abused, our daughters to be violated. God says in the last book of Proverbs, a mother's training her son for reigning. You heard right. Training for reigning. She urges him to stay close to God's law, not just in letter, but in spirit and heart and in attitude and action. And then she became specific and she said, speak up for those who have no voice to speak for themselves. In other words, those without a voice, without a vote, without influence, without seeming impact, vulnerable. You be the person standing up for them. Rescue those being led away to death, we read in that same book in chapter 24. Hold back those staggering towards slaughter. If you say, as we Guyanese tend to do, we didn't know. How could we have found out? You have the evidence. God says he's not amused. He's not fooled, and will hold those who are complicit with their silence with their habit of turning the other way, of sweeping under the carpet. God says it wouldn't work. I'm calling on our president, particularly in light of his being blessed with a child on Father's Day, to show that he has a heart, that he will not be used by those around him who might be saying, but others around us are being protected too. Stand, sir. Show yourself a father, a man, and a leader, and distance yourself as a shepherd from wolves, from predators, from those who have no regard for anything except their libidinous urges, their tendency to depravity, which we had an inkling of in Parliament, but we won't go there. Thank you very much.